Yo, what's up, bros? I know I'm rapid firing these motherfuckers, but this is part 3 to What If Naruto Was a Girl, or its actual name, Powerless, a Naruto Story. And without further ado, I don't want to say anything. You guys are here for the content, so let's get fucking straight into it. Saruta and the rest of Team 7, that includes Sasuke and Sakura, had just gotten back from their mission to the Land of Waves. After this mission to the Land of Waves, they would come home being obviously not tired, but more just bored. Zabuza was supposed to be an S-rank ninja, and he didn't put up that much of a fight. Although he was a little impressive, he wasn't the most impressive. He did get killed rather easily, but then again, they did have a high-ranking Jonin on their team, not just some mid-rank Jonin. They had Kakashi of the Sharingan, for God's sakes. One of the students of Menma Namikaze, he was literally the student of both Minato and Menma Namikaze. So, I mean, they kinda got, the frickin' GOAT as their Jonin instructor. Like, the GOAT besides Menma, who is also a Jonin instructor. Saruta would walk in the door to her house in the Namikaze compound, where Zou and Karin would be preparing dinner, and Menma would be sitting on his rocking chair, fast asleep. His breathing would be ragged, and Saruta would notice this, but decide not to pay any attention to his ragged breathing. It was probably just him and his sleep breath. After all, he has probably been asleep for a long while since Team Menma hadn't gone on a mission in a while. In fact, Menma was so convinced, or rather her father was so convinced, that his team could do missions without him, that he would literally go with them to the Hokage's office, accept the mission, and then use a flying rasengan to teleport right back to his rocking chair as his team completed the mission, and Zou would have to go back to the Namikaze compound to wake up Menma so that they could go to the Hokage's office and accept the reward. He had literally done that for almost every mission that they had done, since there were no missions that really would require his expertise. But Saruta would walk over and she would shake her father on the shoulder, saying, "Papa, wake up, I'm home." What? Oh, Saruta, you're home. How was your C-rank mission? Actually, it was considered a A-rank by the Lord Hokage. An A-rank? Are you serious? Karin would say from the kitchen. Why the hell would he send you on an A-rank mission? Zou would ask. Well, he thought it was a C-rank mission. Everybody did. The guy even put it in as a C-rank mission. Turns out we actually had to face down Zabuza. You mean Zabuza Momochi? Or Momoshi? Or Momochi? I can't remember. Zabuza... You mean to have to say it sound Zabuza, the demon of the mist? Yeah, I don't really know why he got that name. He was kind of bad. Kind of bad, you say? Zou would start, would just be in utter disbelief that his sister would just say something like this, and as nonchalantly as she had said it. Like, Zabuza had been literally just another thug that she could just smack to the side. This scared Zou at her confidence, because her confidence was almost never misplaced. Her confidence was always correctly placed. At least most of the time. Sometimes it wasn't, as when she would try to beat their father, and whenever she got a big enough power gap, or a power jump, she'd always try to defeat their father to no avail. After all, you can't really expect to beat the guy who's probably the most powerful in the village at the current point in time. Eventually, Menma would wake up and walk to or he would already be awake, and he would walk to the dinner table while Karin and Zou set up the dinner table, and Saruta got the refreshments like the tea ready, and they would all sit around the dinner table and start having their dinner, which was a simple tuna dish with not like the canned tuna, but like actual strips of the fish tuna, so like cooked tuna, grilled tuna. Grilled salmon with some sticky rice on the side, and soy sauce, wasabi, and ginger. Basic dish, nothing too complicated, but enough to fill you up. Itadakimasu, they would all say while clapping their hands together before undoing their chopsticks and beginning to eat. So, Papa. Saruto would say with her mouth full. Have you ever thought of, well, I don't know, maybe getting out there? What do you mean? He would say, taking a sip of his drink. You know, like, have a girlfriend. He would say, spitting out his drink in classic anime fashion. Me? Date? Are you insane? Yeah, maybe in the next life, when I actually have another arm. Oh, come on, don't downgrade yourself. Papa, you're a great guy. Come on, guys, help me. She is right, Dad, Karin would say. I would think it'd be great for you to have someone to share romantic feelings with, because we all love you very much, Papa, but we can't give you the kind of love that a wife can. It would just be weird if we tried to. Amen to that, sister, Zoe would say. But yeah, I agree with them, Dad. You really should get out there. I mean, romance is a beautiful thing, to be honest. God, you're 13-year-old kids and you're talking to me about romance, and how it's a beautiful thing. Like you're all married adults with kids. Well, I guess it's my fault for raising you. Well, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. It was never really my thing, you know? I was always the matchmaker, not the match made. What do you mean by that, Papa? Saruto would say. You know how I told you, when you became a genin, who your father and mother were? Yeah. Well, I actually helped Kushina and Minato get together. Really? You helped Mom and Papa get together? Or you helped Mom and Dad to get together. Yeah, I did. It was, you know, something for my brother. I loved my brother, and I became as close to Kushina as a sister and brother. In fact, we would actually call each other Big Bro and Little Sis. Well, she would call me Big Bro, and I would call her Little Sis. So, yeah. That's really all I've ever done. I mean, in terms of romance, I don't have much experience at all. In fact, the only women I ever talk to is the wives of the clan heads, if they're there in the council meetings or the council parties. And I guess Anko and Mirai, but they're more of like students than anything. Mirai's already got her mindset on Asuma. They're practically married at this point. They're already dating, Zoe would say. And really, how do you know this? How do I know this? How do you not know this? It's blatantly obvious by the way they act around each other. Also, Shikamaru told me. Yeah, that makes sense, Menma would say. And it actually does make sense now that I think about it. Yeah, but between Mirai and Anko, I would have picked Anko anyways, Zoe would say. I thought you only had feelings. Well, I thought you only had feelings for Anzu, little bro. Zoe would turn tomato red and start steaming from his head. What are you talking about? Oh, bro, it's obvious that you have feelings for her. So if we're telling our dad to get out there, why don't we tell you to get out there as well, huh? It's so stupid. I have a crush, but you don't have a crush that I can get on you about. Trust me, Karin would have told me if you had a crush. But you don't. You don't seem to have any romantic feelings towards anyone. Why is that, big sis? Now, Zoe and Karin call her Big Sis, not because she's older than them, because they don't really care about the difference in birth dates, but because she was in the house first. Like, she was the first daughter, basically the first daughter of Menma, so she's like the big sister. Well, I just am too focused on training and making my father and mother proud. Making my papa proud and, well, making everyone proud. And also to get these villagers to stop hating me. To become Hokage. Just like my father. Well, I guess. But it was really that easy to tell that I like Anzu? Dude, it's easier to tell that you like Anzu than it is to tell that Sakura likes Sasuke. I guess you're right. But I just get so nervous around her every time I try to talk to her. I get so flustered. God, I'm such a wimp. No, you're not. You're incredibly strong, Menma would say. Having conflicts in your feelings is natural. Even the 4th Hokage went through it. Hell, everybody that has ever loved goes through this at some point. The fear of being rejected. The fear that they might not like you back. But I am going to take your advice. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go invite a young lady to dinner. Although it is kind of wrong. She basically is a generation younger than me, and I was an adult, but I was already a young adult by the time she was 14 years old. We're both adults now. I'm sure that I could strike up a friendly conversation with the pretty young woman. Thanks, guys. I hope it works out between me and her, but you never know. I might have to go to one of those matchmakers. Ugh. He would shiver before walking out the door and using the flying rasen to start teleporting through the village to follow Anko's signature. The rest of them would sit there, and Karin would comfort Zoe, and she would say, "Hey, it's okay. I got your back the entire way. I believe it. Anzu, even if she didn't notice, I'm sure that even if she doesn't want to be that way right now, she wouldn't flat out reject you. It's not like she hates you or anything." Right. Thanks, sis. Yeah, now come on, let's go train some more, Naruto would say. They would all nod, and eventually this would lead into the Chunin exams arc. So actually, right before the Chunin exams arc, we would have a small conversation between Menma and Anko. Anko would be standing on a bridge, looking over, rubbing her neck, before Menma would appear out of nowhere, and she would jump back in fright. The curse mark on her neck had been all but completely erased, since it was a slightly imperfect curse mark. It wasn't as perfected as someone like Zoe's. You scared me, Menma-sensei. How many times have I told you, Anko? It's just Menma. Right. So what are you doing here? Well, I wanted to talk. Anko, we've been comrades for a while. Yeah? What is it? Well, I was just going to ask if you would like to, if you'd like to get dinner tonight. Say, 5:30? 6, maybe? Menma was a horrible flirt, and really didn't know how to be suave or anything like that. Really, legitimately, he was just asking a question. God. You trying to ask me out on a date, Menma-sensei? Am I really that lame? No, it's actually kind of cute. Sure, why not? Might as well give it a try, you know. Gotta try things in life before you know you don't like them. You might actually turn out to like them, you know? So I think it'd be fun. Yeah, sure. 6 o'clock. Yeah, but you're treating, paying the entire bill. After all, this is your idea. I'm okay with that. I'm just glad you actually said yes. I would say, well, I'll see you at 6 tonight. He would wave bye before teleporting away with the flying rasen. Anko would then turn away and actually start to blush. Wow, there actually is someone who took interest in me. I don't know if it's just from my looks, or maybe Menma-sensei and I were closer than I thought. We have had a lot of conversations, and we have gotten closer over these few years because of the curse mark and talking about Orochimaru and things like that. I didn't think I could be able to get so close to him. Is he really like me, or is he just trying to get out there? Oh god, what am I saying? I sound like an excited schoolgirl. Alright, Anko. Let's give this a chance. Anko would nod to herself before body flickering away to go back to her house to get ready for the date that night. And now we're going to get into the tuning exams arc. I'm not going to detail the date, just know that it went well. So before we actually hop into the tuning exams arc, the tuning exams themselves, we're going to tell you how every main character has progressed, which would be Team Menma and Team Kakashi. So, Saruta on Team Kakashi would be the strongest out of all 6 of them. She would be able to control a small amount of the Nine-Tails chakra, a small chakra cloak with red slit-like eyes, but not the first-tailed state, just that chakra cloak. Besides that, she could also use her wind-style jutsu and even knew multiple wind-style vacuum jutsus. So wind-style vacuum bullet, wind-style vacuum blade, or vacuum lace, and wind-style vacuum slash, or vacuum whip. And she would also then learn about her second affinity, lightning, and would learn the the lightning style lightning bolt jutsu and the lightning style the lightning style lightning senbon, which is a jutsu where you just shoot 3 senbon that were made of lightning at your opponent, although you can shoot more if it's combined with Chidori, which is called Chidori style lightning senbon, but you know, it's whatever. This is just the normal lightning senbon. And right before the tuning exams, she had been training with her father a whole lot and would eventually master the rasengan, taught to her by her father, obviously. But because of Zoe's lack of being able to rotate the chakra properly, he would actually not be able to perform the rasengan. And he would actually be told about the Raikiri / Chidori. Because of this, the Chidori would be his main weapon, or basically his main jutsu. You could call it that. He would use this jutsu to its fullest capabilities, and basically, if you're wondering, but he needs the two Tomoe Sharingan. In his Curse Mark 2 state, he can keep up with it, but as the only time he can keep up with the Chidori and the Raikiri is in his Curse Mark Stage 2 state. If he's not in his Curse Mark Stage 2 state, he cannot use the Chidori or Raikiri. And we then have Karin. This will be the 3 children of Menma, but I probably should have just followed through each team, but you know, I'm just going whatever order I want. Karin, she would actually be definitely the weakest of the group, although she would, like Sakura, know the scalpel or the chakra scalpel. She wouldn't actually know any like elemental nature type jutsu, so she wouldn't know any nature releases, which is the only reason Sakura one-ups her, because Sakura knows water style jutsu. After that, we actually have the next strongest, or up from Sakura, is actually Sasuke, who has his 2 Tomoe Sharingan in each eye, and he is pretty powerful at the moment. Like, he had been pushed a lot and knew a good amount of fireball jutsu at the moment, including the Phoenix Flower and even the fire style Dragon Flame Bomb jutsu, which was really impressive for his level. After that, he also knew the, oh god, what's it called? Fuck, bro. God. The Genjutsu. Sorry. God, I completely messed that up. He would have a small Genjutsu, for, like, ocular Genjutsu. He wouldn't have, like, Itachi type Genjutsu, since obviously you don't have 3 Tomoe Sharingan yet, and, I mean, Itachi's just Genjutsu Jesus. I know, Swag Kage. Yeah, I watch him too. But anyways, after all of that would be our last character, which would be Anzu, or that's her name, yeah, Anzu Saratobi, and she would actually have mastered all 5 chakra natures, like, mastered, and she would know a lot of, like, a good amount of jutsu and all of those, and even had created her own jutsu, which was the kunai style kunai shadow clone and the explosion tag style rupturing explosion, which basically amplified the explosive power of a single explosive tag by around 10 times to 50 times, depending on, like, how much chakra she put into it. So if she put like almost all of her chakra into that one bomb, she could probably make an explosion the size of, like, one of Datara's giant explosions that he was just dropping on the freaking sand during the beginning of Shippuden. Actually, no, she wouldn't have to put all her chakra. She'd probably but she'd put a good amount of chakra into it. After this, we would get straight into Team 7 would be walking, or Team Kakashi would be walking through, and they would eventually come across Lee, and Lee would challenge Sasuke to a battle. Team Menma, sorry, I was about to say Team Saruto. Team Menma would be crossing the paths right then and there, and would hear the following. "Fight me, Uchiha Sasuke. If you fight me, I promise you won't be let down. In fact, I might be let down, because I don't know your power yet, but I'm sure you can't beat me. You wanna go then, huh? Save it for the finals." Sasuke would begin to walk off, but then Lee would jump forward, trying to use a flying kick, but then Zoe would power up to the Curse Mark Stage 1 with speed that's basically, like, super fast. Like, just really fast speed. Basically, it looked like a body flicker, basically. I mean, it was a body flicker, but at the same time, you know, he's just really fast. He would grab Lee by the ankle, twirl him around, and just throw him and chuck him straight at the wall. "This is the power of the Curse Mark. Don't doubt it, Lee," he would say. Lee would be impressed by this power. There was definitely more than just Uchiha Sasuke that was strong here. After all, Zoe was one of the children of Menma Namikaze, so he would be a threat as well. In fact, he thought that both Team Menma and Team Kakashi would all be problems. Now, maybe their medical kunoichi such as Kari Uzumaki and Sakura Haruno may not be as much of a problem, but Anzu Saratobi, Saruta Namikaze, Uchiha Sasuke, or Sasuke Uchiha, and Zoe Shiru would all definitely be threats to he and his team. Lee would say before walking off. Lee, even though he didn't say anything, would actually be quite impressed that there were this many strong people at the Chunin exams. The first round would occur, and it would go pretty much the same, with nothing really happening. Anko would then bust through the room, saying, "Yo, what's up, nerds? Come on, we're going to the Forest of Death." And on the way there, Minma would actually catch up to her, and he would say, I hope they survive. I hate paperwork. He said. Don't worry, that's why they're doing it for us, she would say. Well, thank you for doing this, and I just hope they come out alive, Minma would say. Have a little more faith in them. Jeez, dude, she would say, nudging him on the shoulder. They would start laughing before locking eyes, and Anko would proceed to grab onto the collar of his shirt as Minma would begin to lift his head down towards Anko's face. Zoe would say, Can we have those papers now, Miss Anko? Right away, Anko would say. Both her and Minma would be flustered, and Minma would immediately jump up and use the flying rasen. Coward, Karin would say. Should have just gone for it. And why'd you do that, Zoe? That would have been beautiful. Wow, I didn't know you and Mr. Minma were going out, Anzu would pipe up. Yeah, we are. Now sign the damn paper and give it back to me, so you can get your scroll and go in the damn thing. And forget everything you just saw, okay? Just forget it. Okay then, Anzu would say before jumping away, along with Zoe and Karin. Now, the Forest of Death would go practically the same up until Saruta, Sasuke, and Sakura would go up against Orochimaru. Now, I have to say they would fight Orochimaru quite valiantly, but they still wouldn't be able to defeat Orochimaru on their own. And right as Team Minma arrives, Orochimaru escapes, having planted the curse mark on Sasuke and the 5-prong, but actually not having planted the 5-prong seal on Saruta. Saruta being a lot faster and a lot more powerful in this timeline. But Karin would actually walk over to Sasuke, and then she would realize, okay, he's fine. Then she would run over to Sakura and see Sakura on the floor, and she would say, oh god, I gotta help you. And she would start healing Sakura, and that's when Zoe would notice a little something. Something was odd about Karin. When she looked at Sakura. Was that a... No way. There was no way. Was that a blush? Zoe would ask himself. No, couldn't be. Couldn't be. No. Could it? No, I'm stupid. I was seeing things, he would say, shaking his head and turning his mind back to the conversation at hand. Saruta, Anzu, and he would be talking about the matters at hand. Sasuke would get up and walk over and start discussing what had happened, and Zoe would realize the curse mark on Sasuke's shoulder as the perfected curse mark. He's got a hold of you too. Well, let's have Minma-sensei seal that, and once he seals that, then I'll teach you how to go the second stage, although there is a gruesome ritual that you will have to go through. Really? There is? Sasuke would say. Yeah, but it only hurt a bit. Nothing you can't handle. Cool. Will I get really powerful from it? Oh, hell yeah, of course you will. Oh, cool. Sweet. They would all head to the tower, and eventually they would summon the 2 joining structures, inform them of everything of what happened, and Sasuke's curse mark would be sealed, meaning Orochimaru couldn't do, like, the summoning shit where, like, during the fight with Itachi in the original canon, where he takes over Sasuke's body, Orochimaru now has no hold over Sasuke anymore. The curse mark is now completely Sasuke's, for Sasuke to master and all that good shit. The preliminaries would all be set up the exact same, except for a whole nother team being there, which would sort of level out the playing ground, but all the fights go the same as in canon, except for the fact that Naruto claps Kiba, just one-shots him, or no, Saruta, god, I said Naruto, frick! Saruta claps Kiba really easily, and the others would fight random people, like Kabuto and his guys, and they would win easily. Now, this is when I believe that Sasuke would begin his training on the Chidori during the 1 month period. And I think Zo would try to help Sasuke. Like, he would go with Kakashi because he actually says he wants to do the ritual with Sasuke and help Sasuke completely control his his curse mark stage 2 before the time they get to the Chunin exams, because that'll be much more beneficial than having a mastered Raikiri, because Sasuke had already known the Chidori because he had help from Zo and Kakashi and Menma. And because of this, he had already known the Chidori, and instead of having to go a curse mark stage 2, he could actually just use his 2-to-1 Sharingan to control it. And because of this, by the time the 1 month period ends, Zo and Sasuke would both have mastered curse mark stage 2, a mastered Chidori, which they could use like the Chidori in multiple different ways, but they could also both use the Raikiri, which was a much more potent and much more beneficial technique, and they could also do special things with the Raikiri, such as extending its blade or shooting needles out of it. So like they could use instead of using Chidori style, they could say Raikiri style lightning Senbon, or Raikiri style lightning stream. Basically something like that. So yeah, now they both have the Raikiri, which is freaking dope and also broken. Sasuke would actually also be trained by Menma a little bit, since Menma, although he would want to train Sarita, someone would actually come into town who the boy, the goat, the legend, Jiraiya, the Toad Sannin, would come into the village, and Menma would obviously sense his presence immediately, teleport Sarita to meet him, and then tell Jiraiya, "You're gonna train this girl, I have other business to attend to." And Menma would probably go on a date with Anko, but he would also help Sasuke master his Sharingan, but Sasuke would also have help from, like his father and Itachi, his brother. So Sasuke would have the 3-to-1 Sharingan, and although he wouldn't have the ability such as the copy wheel, nor would he have like hacks genjutsu like freaking Itachi, he would still have a practically mastered 3-to-1 Sharingan, only without those two abilities. But he could obtain those two abilities and completely master the 3-to-1 Sharingan with a good amount of training. Sasuke had also picked up the short sword as well as Zo, with Sasuke and Zo being pretty similar in fighting style and technique, with Zo only having a slight edge over Sasuke because of his special genjutsu casting eyes. Even Sasuke, with the 2-to-1 Sharingan and when he had the Curse Mark Stage 2 both activated, would still fall victim to these. It was only with the 3-to-1 Sharingan that he was able to resist the mesmerizing eyes that made him want to fall asleep. And so, other characters that would be absolutely broken by the time they got there was the Prodigy, which would be Saruta, who actually already knows about Sage Mode, and since she already knows things like the Rasengan and controlling Chronos Chakra, she would jump straight to the topic of, I want to learn the Toad Summoning, and then I want to learn Sage Mode. So she would learn the Toad Summoning, that would be learned in a day, and for the rest of the month, she would perfect Sage Mode, and Jiraiya would just be like, your family and being able to do perfect Sage Mode with frickin' ease. God, I hate your family. Jiraiya would say, yeah, but you also love us. She would say, thanks, Jiraiya-sensei. This helped a lot, and I think this will be a great tool in battle. Especially since I can use Sage Art Jutsus now. And I can even use the Toad Summoning. Now, I was actually working for the last couple of days on a jutsu that I think you might like. She would stick her hand up into the air. Well, she would summon two shadow clones before sticking her hand up in the air and summoning a Rasengan. Then it would start morphing as the two shadow clones pumped wind chakra into it. It would then morph into a ball that was pure white with a ring around it. She would actually then enter Sage mode and say Sage Art, Rasen Shuriken, and throw it. Before, it would leave a giant explosion with a giant crater. It would leave like a moderate-sized explosion. Not like a giant explosion, but a good-sized explosion with a crater in its wake. Jiraiya would be utterly astonished. This was 10 times as powerful as the Great Fireball Rasengan ever could hope to be. And since Jiraiya had actually mastered the Great Fireball Rasengan, this was an imperfect Rasen Shuriken, and this was just so much blatantly more powerful than the Great Fireball Rasengan, and Jiraiya would actually decide himself that he wants to learn this technique. But that's getting besides the point. The rest of the people doing the 1-month training, such as Sakura and Karin, would train under Lady Kurenai with their genjutsu techniques. Karin would actually pick up a good amount of genjutsu, and they would be a lot more proficient in just taijutsu, because they would also have closer relations with Asuma if they were training under Lady Kurenai. So they would actually get some training under Asuma as well to bump up their taijutsu in general. After all of this, the 1-month training arc would conclude. And if you're wondering about Anzu, she would train with Asuma, her uncle Asuma, and also possibly her grandfather, but he's a little busy. Her grandfather is the 3rd Hokage, so she's Konohamaru's older sister, basically. But besides that, let's hop straight into the final rounds of the 1 month, or what's it called? The finals of the Chunin exams. God, I keep forgetting things tonight. Lord Third, we need to talk. A voice would become from behind the Hokage's chair, and Hiruzen Sarutobi would whip around in his chair. He would know this voice, but this voice sounded a lot more serious than normal. What is it, Menma? Old man, I need to talk to you about something. He would slide his chair back before sitting down. I hid this for a while, and now I'm kind of sad that I did hide it. Because I know that there's a whole lot more people than I thought that are gonna miss me when I'm gone. Miss you when you're gone? What are you talking about? I have the chakra virus. Hiruzen would be stunned, utterly horrified. Not even Tsunade could heal this. This was a virus that the first Hokage had contracted that was completely uncurable by any medical means known to mankind. Even the summoning jutsu masters, or rather like the different summonings, didn't know a cure to this virus. Nothing. No creature, no human, no nothing knew an antidote. At least not at the time. I've already started showing major symptoms. Or rather, not major symptoms, but a good fair amount. Drowsiness, lightheadedness, a lack of wanting to do anything, or having a hard time breathing. Eventually I'll start coughing up blood, and then I'll be gone. Menma, I'm so sorry, It doesn't matter. It won't kill me for around another 2 years. But I'm going to tell my children and my team about it. And I'm going to tell Anko about it. Okay? but I want to tell everybody myself, so don't tell anybody, okay? Keep it a secret. I don't want this to be a widespread thing, and to create widespread panic. Will you do that for me, Lord Third? Of course, my boy. Of course, Minma. I'm sorry that this has happened to you. I lost Minato, Biwako, and Kushina that night, and now I'm losing you. How much longer must I take the pain of losing those I love? Well, I'm actually going to go out of the village. For a little while. I'm going to go get Tsunade Senju with Jiraiya. We're gonna go on the hunt for her to bring her back to the village because I've been picking up bits and pieces of information about an organization known as the Akatsuki, as well as bits and pieces of information of Madara. Though, I know a lot more about the Akatsuki than I do about Madara. Well, I think the Akatsuki were going to be a great threat. But when I do die, make sure you give my eyes to Zoe. What? Really? Not Saruta? She wouldn't accept them. I know she wouldn't. I want you to give them to Zoe. He deserves them. He does. Heck, Saruta does as well, but I know she wouldn't want them. She wants to gain power her own way, so it wouldn't be right for me to force her into that because it's my will. So, give it to Zoe. But besides that, I'm going to go leave a legacy. An actual legacy. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go do that. Lord Third, you and Jiraiya both. Heck, Jiraiya was like a father, and you were like a grandpa. You gave such great wisdom and such great guidance to me. You truly are one of the greatest Hokages this village has ever seen. And I think my brother could even tell you that. Thank you. Of course, Lord Third. Then we would cut away, and we'd be standing there. Someone would be looking down at a grave. In fact, multiple people. No, the entire village. The grave read Hiruzen Sarutobi. Hiruzen Sarutobi, killed by Orochimaru. Meanwhile, somewhere in a nearby forest. I have to go. Okay? The Lord Third's funeral is today. Please, just a little longer. A red-headed boy would say. Okay. Fine then. They would sit on a branch, and the young Saruta would continue to talk with a young Gara, a reformed Gara who had repented on his actions. From afar watched Tamari and Konkuro, but they noticed how much fun Gara was having. It almost seemed as if not only was he growing feelings of friendship towards the young blonde girl, but possibly even feelings of romantic proportion. But the death of Hiruzen didn't just shock Menma and Jiraiya. It shocked a certain person with something horrible. Anzu. You know he would want you to be there, Zoe would say. This is on the Sarutobi compound, and Anzu would be locked up in her room. I'm not going to the funeral. I can't go to a funeral looking like this. I hate myself. I couldn't save him. I don't deserve to be at his funeral. He wouldn't have wanted you to try and save him. He sacrificed his life for the village. Anzu, please. Please, just open the door and let me talk to you. Give me 5 minutes, please. Just 5. Just a couple minutes, even. 2 minutes? Possibly? Anzu, or rather, Zoe would hear clicking, and then a door open. Anzu stood at the door, tears streaking her face. She was wearing black robes, just as Zoe was. They'd walk down to a couch, or rather, Anzu would lead him to a couch. They would both plop down and sit. Speak. You have 2 minutes. Okay, Anzu, please listen to me. He wouldn't have wanted you to save him. He sacrificed his life for the village because he wanted to, because he wanted to protect you. He didn't want you to get hurt. He didn't want this village to be destroyed, so he sacrificed himself to take care of Orochimaru. Please, you don't need to be like this. He wouldn't want you to be like this. He wouldn't want you to smile, to be happy that he's in a better place now. Anzu, he loved you more than anyone. So please, you don't have to go. But just let me stay here with you. And promise me that we don't have to go today, but that you'll go with me to visit his shrine, his tomb, his grave. And you'll go there and you'll pay respect. That you'll stop with this I'm unworthy bullshit. He wants you there now, but he would understand if you didn't go. You really are too good to me. I'm such a mess. I'm not even that strong when compared to you or Sasuke or Saruta. Heck, even Sakura and Karina were impressive because they can just whip out medical ninjutsu, advanced medical ninjutsu at that, like it's no one's business. What can I do? I can launch simple jutsus in all of the basic chakra natures. Wow, so impressive. Anzu, don't say that about yourself. You're a very talented kunoichi. And look, okay? Anzu, he knew you were strong. He purposefully didn't want you in that battle. Because of the fact that he loved you. So please, Saruta, please promise me that we'll go pay respects to his shrine. Okay? Okay. I promise. Anzu would rest her head on Zoe's shoulder, and Zoe would start to blush. Why are you like that every time I get close to you? Zoe would say, what do you mean? You always blush. It's cute. Let me stay here for a while. She would actually get just all over him and crawl into him not as if, not because like she wanted to, you know, do anything. She didn't want to do the dirty or anything. No, this was just her way of basically cuddling into him and saying like, I just need to be here for a while. I'm sad. Basically, like you know, if like someone was sad and they just wanted to like lay on you for a second, basically. Zoe would be embarrassed, but he would slowly wrap his arms around Anzu, and he would say, "Now's not the time. Let's not take away from the fact that he's gone. We need to process that before we move on to anything else. Okay, Anzu?" "Yeah. Of course." She would curl up into his chest and just start sobbing, heaving heavy sobs into his shirt, making his shirt soaked with tears. But he didn't care. He just held her, and held her tight. This world was cruel. Zoe knew that, and he wished Anzu hadn't had to experience that firsthand. But she did. And this was exactly why Zoe wanted to bring peace, complete peace. One day, somehow, he would bring about world peace. Alright guys, thank you all for watching What If Naruto Was a Girl, Part 3. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope you guys had an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing 2020. This will be going up on the 30th, and that will be the last video I will post before 2021. This is going to be the last video I post before 2021 because I'm not going to be uploading tomorrow. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I want to spend time with the people that I love. So yeah, besides that, I will talk to you all later, and make sure to check out Kira Gem, SAG, Lucid Hokage, or rather Josh Love Anime, Izukage, and last but not least, Red Demon of the Leaf / Red Demon. Besides that, we still are on road to 2K before May of 2021, and we're also on track for, God, what's it called? The new setup. So I will actually be doing a second channel in a little bit. I have to get my new PC set up. Yeah, I got a new PC for Christmas, and it is a sweet gaming rig, dude. I fucking love it. And I will be doing all my editing on there from now on, instead of the crappy laptop I've been doing it on. So you might get more quality out of the editing, because I might actually put time into editing these what ifs. Then again, I might not. Then again, I might just say, fuck it, I'm not going to, because I'm a lazy son of a bitch like that. But definitely, you might, on that second channel, definitely expect to me be doing some gaming on there. I will be doing gaming videos, and maybe a couple of other types of videos. But mostly that second channel will be for gaming. And with that out of the way, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I hope you guys have a fantastic New Year's. Peace out, and I'll see you next year.